Good morning and welcome to Naturally Kim's Knitting. My name is Kim and I am your hostess on this spinning, knitting, dyeing, yarny type of show right here from my home outside of Lima, Ohio. And I actually have my kitty cat that came into the room today. Not my puppy dog, but my kitty cat. She's usually asleep at this time. I am having technology issues right now. My show notes, which should be on my phone, aren't. So I am going to have to kind of wing this today, and I apologize. I got to remember where you can find me on. I have an Etsy store whereby it's Napier's Knits. Then on Ravelry, I have a page for Napier's Knits, which is my own page. And then we have a podcast group page called Naturally Kim's Knitting. And that's where you can find all the crafty knit-alongs, chats, finished objects, all kinds of things on there. And I love the things that you guys do. Okay, it just dawned on me. I forgot something. Just a moment. Talking of knit-alongs made me realize that I didn't have my prize winners for the month up here. But before I get to that, let me talk about the other knit-along we have going on right now. We have a mosaic knitting knit-along. And mosaic knitting is a fun and interesting technique to do. I did it, I don't know if you'll be able to see. Well, I don't know how well you can see because it's on my granddaughter's sweater right there. That's a mosaic knit sweater. And it turned out beautiful. That's the only mosaic knitting I have done, but I do love it. So anyways, if you're interested in joining that, all you have to do is finish or work on. I'm not even saying finish, but have some mosaic knitting projects that you're working on and post a picture of what you're working on under the thread. Excuse me. At the end of this month, I'll have a drawing and we'll see who is the winner. Fantastic little prizes coming along with that. Anyways, to get on with this month's winners, for our finished object thread, that's a little thread that we have constantly going, but at the end of every month, I draw winners from those who have posted entries for the month. And I have 3 winners because we have over 30 entries for this month. Can you believe that? You guys are so creative and so busy. Anyways, our first winner of the Naturally Kim's Knitting Genevieve Penelope Variegated Yarn is, and I'm not even going to say your name because I always say it wrong, L-M-E-C-O-L-L. I know it's Linda. Please, Linda, when you see this, could you please go ahead and post your address and everything under, I'm sorry. I guess not having my notes is throwing me off. Just post your name and address and send it to me. Oh, I tell you. Then we have a second place winner who gets to choose one pattern from Handmade Studios 11. And that winner is Betsy. Yay! And then we have a third place winner of any Ravelry pattern up to $7.50. You just have to contact me and I will send it to you. And that winner is I Now Our. I Now Our. So those are our 3 winners for the month. I'm so pleased for all of you. So we have Linda, I'll just say Linda. We have Betsy and we have I Now Our. So congratulations, each and every one of you. Please contact me and I'll make sure that your prizes get to you. Now, I have a couple finished objects this week. Anybody who follows me on Instagram knows I finished my hubby's birthday socks. And for anybody who might be new, this is a yarn that I spun the roving, I dyed it, and then I knit up a pair of socks for him out of it. He chose the kind of yarn that he wanted. He wanted merino nylon yarn. Roving, I'm sorry. So he did that. I asked him to pick a color, and I knew he'd pick green. But he also told me he has a lot of blacks and browns. So I just dyed this up just special for him, and then I spun it and knit it. And now I haven't washed them yet. I'm going to wash them, block them, and they will be his forever as a a remembrance of this birthday. I don't know why. But then the next thing I finished up was my next little chemo cap. I just love this little pom-pom. I love how it's come away with the yellow and the blue on it. But this is just using Felicia yarn, and then I used the pattern that I've posted for free under Napier's Knits. So if you're interested, go there. Let's see. That's all the finished objects, but that's okay. Because you know me, I always have more than one thing on my needles at the time. In fact, I wasn't going to do, oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I am almost finished with something. I haven't taken a picture of this and put it on Instagram because I'm waiting for buttons. I might go ahead and put it on there though. But those of you who have been following along knows that after this is blocked and everything, this is my Tobias sweater from my grandson. Isn't that cool? I love the way this is worked up. So I just ordered some buttons today, and he loves anything with wheels, but especially trains. So they might be a little bit bulky. I got a couple different kinds of buttons, but they might be a little bulky, and if they are, then I'll use something else. But for him, I just wanted to give him some color with this too, because he's a very colorful young man. For those of you who don't know, Tobias is my grandson. And I made my granddaughter a little dress, even though to her it wasn't long enough because it should be princess length, which is all the way to the floor in her mind. So, but this is for my grandson, her brother. So this is my Tobias sweater. I just dawned on me where I could, it'll be last week's notes, but I could still use it. Oh, I'm taking a Welsh class online, and instead of bringing up Blogger, I brought up Duolingo. Okay, let's see. Sorry about that. It just dawned on me I could use some of my notes from last week. So the pattern that I based this off of very, very loosely was Sloan Square by Gabrielle Dansnit. And this is one of the Caron balls. This was all made from one ball of yarn, and I have probably enough left if I wanted to make him another one, but I don't think I will because it's, you know, like I said, he's a very bright young man, and so I want to make him something with lots of colors the next time. I used US size 6, which is size 4 millimeter, and size 7, which is 4.5 millimeter needles on this, and I am so tickled with this. So that's almost finished because I have to get the buttons and I have to, you know, weave in the ends. But otherwise, it's not too shabby. I can't complain about it. If I did, who would listen? Besides which, I'm proud of that. I'm hoping he likes it as much as I like making it. So the next thing that I have going on is another pair of scrap yarn socks. I have all this scrap yarn from various projects, and I just decided, you know, I can make lots of socks from them. So this is the toe and the beginning of the foot of my next pair of scrap yarn socks. This yarn was left over, well, both yarns actually were left over from projects that I've made for Cece over the years. So I decided to put them together, and then I've got for the heel and the cuff, I don't have enough of this purple, so I'm going to be using another color. Probably another color for the heels and another one for the cuffs, because it would look different to have the heels and the ribbing one color and the toe another. And, yeah. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. Yes, I did think about that before I got on this podcast with you guys. Anyways, let's see. What else do I have? Well, I have birthday present socks. And I don't know if the person these are for watches the podcast, so I'm not going to say. But, and I do not Did I get this down last week? No, I did not. I do not remember. I got this yarn in California, but I don't remember what it was called. I'm sorry about that. I'm horrible. But the toes, heels, and ribbing will be out of a Knit Picks yarn, which should still be in the bag. Should still be in the bag. Wrong bag. It's Knit Picks Firecracker Heather. This is their Stroll Tweed. I love tweed yarns. I've told you that before. Anyway, so I've made good progress on these socks. I would like to have been to the heel, but you know what? I'm not in a hurry. Birthday is a little ways away, so ta-da! If you hear siren in the background, I'm sorry. We've been having accidents down this road from us, and been calling for a lot of prayers for me, because every time I hear a siren, I stop and I pray for the emergency workers, for whoever might be involved in the accident, and whatever else. Okay, sorry. This is Strawberry Mint Tea by Pure Leaf. It's their tea house collection. Their tea house collection is like my favorite. So, the next thing I have is a scarf that I'm making out of my hand spun yarns. And what I'm doing is I'm changing colors, but whenever I change colors, I change patterns. Except there are a few in there that's just stockinette stitching. And I have a calendar that has a stitch a day. And some of them fit in with the number of stitches I have on, and some don't. So the days that don't, I'm just stockinette stitching. So from this, you can tell I've done this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. I guess I started it last Wednesday. But this is it so far. And this is all yarn that I've hand spun. And I just decided, hey, I'm going to make a little sampler scarf. And I'm sure somebody will really enjoy this. It's going to be for the soup kitchen eventually. But for right now, I'm loving it. And this yarn here and this yarn here are some that I actually dyed myself to. So, yay. I like doing samplers and things like that sometimes. Now, every time that the Curious Handmaid, Helen Stewart, has a new shawl collection, comes out, and it's twice a year maybe? She also has a sock one too. I always subscribe to it because I love her patterns. Excuse me. So, I just received the latest pattern. I need to put it on her Ravelry page. It's called the Maytham shawl. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And my first colorway, high tea, something high tea by Knit Picks. I'm awful. I don't remember which one it is, but it's high tea rose or something like that. I should show you the right side. And this is as far as I've gotten. And I don't usually do pink, but because of that, I don't have any pink in my closet. So I'm making this for myself, and I'm going to keep it. Especially since the next color I have, I'm not sure if it will blend really well or not. If it does blend, I could possibly give this away, but if not, I'm not going to throw that on somebody else. So this is the Maytham shawl by Helen Stewart, Curious Handmaid, and this is how far I've got on the first shawl of this collection. I thought I might try to see if I could keep up her shawls as she comes out this time. I don't know if it'll work since I'm not buying yarn. And as you know, I've had the Harley sweater. on hold because I was only working on one garment at a time. The shawl, yes, it's a garment, but I don't know. I look at it as right now it's almost blind knitting because the pattern's very simple right now. As it gets more complicated, it might get put in hibernation. I don't know. But the Harley sweater's coming back out since I finished Tobias's sweater. It's just like when I finished Genevieve's, I had Tobias's and my daughter's sweater in hibernation. And when I got hers done, then I didn't brought my grandsons out, and now I got my grandsons down. I'm going to bring my daughters out. That's actually, I just feel like I do make more progress because, of course, I spend more time knitting each thing. So, anyways, let's see. The things that have made me happy, well, besides ordering my buttons for the sweater and finishing the sweater. Knit Picks has their palette yarn on sale, which is a fingering weight 100% wool yarn, and it's $3.03 for a 50-gram ball. But they have such a wide variety of colors. It's a nice little yarn to have on hand. There is a link in my show notes. I have used palette yarn before, and I do like it. I don't like it for socks necessarily because it doesn't have nylon in it, but I have used it for other things. And I think it's a very good yarn for, especially, the price and everything is very reasonable too. Let's see, I have finished another chemo cap, so I've gotten 13 chemo caps done for the year. I'm on my 5th scarf. And then I've got a pair of socks that I'm working on for my resolution. And I got another garment that I'll be working on towards my resolution. I didn't put the 4th garment down. Anyways, okay. Oh, there was something. Oh, see, I told you I don't have my show notes. So I'm kind of trying to remember things. Since I did shop update last week, I'm not going to do them this week at the end of the podcast. But there will be 2 book reviews. One for a little spacecraft book. It's a board book, but inside it has 3 little spacecrafts that parents and kids can make together. And it's a really cute book. And then I also have A Layman Looks at the Lord's Prayer. Oh, excellent book. So if you're interested in seeing those, just stay tuned and they'll be right following this. Otherwise, I don't have a craft book to review this week. I know. How awful. However, as far as I've done with this pattern, I can review this and say it's a very good pattern. It's not a book. Let's see. Anyways, I think that's it for this week. I feel like I'm just blathering on and on and on, and I'm sorry about that. It's such a beautiful day today compared to yesterday when I taped the book reviews. The lighting was horrendous. I looked like I was in a haunted house yesterday, but I wanted to get the book reviews taped. So today's lighting is so much better, but the sad thing is my cornflowers are blooming, my herb garden is beautiful, my lavender is blooming, has petunias, and I keep looking out there at all my flowering things. So that's why you see me looking up, because wow. I love my flowers and my herbs and all those things. Anyways, I will bring this to a close because I know you all have other things to do besides visiting with me. I enjoy our visits each and every week, and I'm so glad that every one of you has taken the time to visit with me today. I so much enjoy this time with you. Well, I hope that you all have a very successful week with any craft items you might be working on. I hope you make few, if any, mistakes. I can't say I make it through a week without making mistakes, but I hope your mistakes are easy to correct, as mine have been so far. I love each and every one of you. Big, big hugs, and I'll talk to you next week. Winners, make sure to notify me. Okay, bye-bye. Hello, and I'm Kim, and I've just got another book review for you today. I am sorry for the lighting. It is a dreary, dreary day outside, but I want to get this book review done today. So This is a make your own spaceship book, and it is so cute. It's got little press out spaceships throughout it. I should let you know I did get this from Dover in exchange for an honest review. It just happens that it's a good review, because I think with these thick pages, I mean, you can see how thick they are. Then they have little information about each of the planets in the book. They have the sun, gravity, the moon, space missions, the sky above, observatories, and then they give you these nice, thick, punch-out pages. Oops, sorry. Which then makes your own rocket ship, just like that. Now, these pages do not interfere with the reading, so after you've made your spaceship, you can still have a nice, thick board book to look at. But isn't that nice? I'm really thrilled with this. Yeah, they have all the pieces you need. Then they have, if I can open this up, just a moment. I know this page folds out. There we go. Then they have a space rover that you can make. And it tells you what the space rover is. So I think with parental assistance, oh, I missed this one. They also have, you know me, another spaceship. Isn't that cool? With a little parental guidance, because I'm afraid little fingers might tear where they don't want to tear. But I think with some parental guidance, this would be a wonderful learning book for any child. And like I said, once you've made the different vehicles, you can then have a nice board book to look at to remind you, what is the Milky Way? They also have some little did you know facts on some of the pages too. I am so tickled with this book. I am totally thrilled. This one is going to my grandchildren because I know they will appreciate it too, and it will fit in with some of the lessons that they do. So anyways, this is from Dover Publishing, like I said, and this is a make your own press out spaceships. And I highly recommend this to anybody who has little kids and they're interested in space and rockets and all that. If they're not, this book will still help encourage them to gain that love. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye. Hi, my name is Kim, and I have a book review today about A Layman's Look at the Lord's Prayer, which is from the Bible, Matthew 6:9 through 13. Now, this is by W. Philip Keller, and it's not a very thick book, as you can tell. But what they do is they take the Lord's Prayer phrase by phrase and they examine it. Before I go any further, in case you didn't see my other book review, it is a really dreary day outside. That's why my lighting is so funky. I apologize for that, but I do want to get these done. Anyways, so it starts off, well, in the index, I was so tickled by this because I wasn't sure how they were going to look at it, okay? This is by Moody Press, okay? And they gave me this book in exchange for an honest review. So I went to the contents, and the table of contents, they list each little section of the book, and it goes, Our Father is number 1. Number 2 is Which art in heaven. 3 is Hallowed be thy name. 4 is the kingdom come. 5 is the will be done. Now, none of these sections are super long. So, like, you could do like I did, which I took each phrase every night. Like, there is our Father. Our Father starts, and it explains who they're talking about, why we put this in the prayer. And it's, I'm so tickled with this book. Then they go on with Which art in heaven. Once again, they examine it, and it's easy read to get through each and every night. I mean, you could do the whole book in one sitting, or you could sit down and break it into sections like I did. But it's a great book. if you want to have a different look at the Lord's Prayer, this is a wonderful book to look into. So anyways, this is a layman's look at the Lord's Prayer by W. Philip Keller. And like I said, this came from Moody Publishing, and I am so tickled. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.